Hello everyone, this is Lynette with Charmed Grammy Crochet, and this will be the first video of a series that I'm going to do as I learn new things in crocheting. And I'm not quite sure what I'm going to call the series, but this is my first try ever at felting, so I wanted to show you some progress as I go, and this is part of the hashtag How I Felt 2021 from Bev at the Dittmer Knittery, where she's teaching us how to make a bag and felt it. So you have to use 100% wool, and you crochet the bag, which this is a bag that she has designed, and it's just pretty simple at this point. And I'm not going to get into like the details of making the bag because you have to watch Bev's videos, and I will link her channel. She does a great deal of felting from what I understand, and she makes some gorgeous bags. I've never felted, and so I thought I was developing an allergy to wool, and I went to the doctor, and anyway, long story short, she gave me some medicine and I could make this bag, and it's not affecting me in a negative way. So that's really great news, because so far I'm enjoying it, even though I haven't done the felting itself yet. But I am using this yarn. It is called Northland Light Apache, and they don't have colorways on there. They just have numbers. And this is a lightweight 3, and it says it is 100% wool. Here's all the stuff. I did go to Hirschner's yesterday to see if I could get more of this yarn in. I have it in 3 different colorways, but I only have 2 skeins of each color. And I have, so the pattern calls for 38 rows, and then we have to do a few more rows that would be decreases. And then we do the handles. And I had thought about doing the decreases and then trying to sew it onto these handles instead of making a strap. And maybe I could finish with the 2 skeins of yarn that I'm holding together. And I did put a, if you don't know, if you put a bead when you're holding 2 strands together, it keeps it from twirling around itself. I don't know why, but it really makes it easy to do. So always put a bead on. It will help you if you ever have trouble with that. And this is just a lightweight plastic bead, and it's done its job of what it's supposed to do. So this is what I have left of these 2 skeins in this colorway, which would not be enough for the strap and the flap, but might be enough if I were to put them on the wooden handles that I already had at home, except I don't know how I would felt it on the wooden handles. And I don't know that I have enough to like go back and forth and then like put it in, like just put it in these little holes and then crochet it up. So I'm just going to follow the pattern. I have this in 2 different colors still. I have this color and this color, which both include the purples that are in here. So my original plan was that I would go to this color and then this color, but I'm not going to need all of those. So I'm going to keep the bright greens out and go with this, with the oranges and yellows. And I'm going to start it with these purples. Oh, excuse me. I'm going to figure it out so that I can get these purples to go into the next colors. So it is part 1 of her, she was using worsted weight. That's why I'm doing 2 strands, but this is all the wool, 100% wool that I had, or at least I think it is. And her bag looks like it's bigger, even though in this camera the bag looks bigger than what I think it is. And I don't know how much it will shrink, if it will shrink. I think she's talked about that, but I don't remember. So what I'm going to do is the first part of the pattern on the first tutorial says to crochet through row 38. This is through row 38. Then we're going to add some more to it, and then you make the handle and you make a flap. So that's going to come out of the second yarn, But because these purples are like so close, I think it'll look fine. And actually, they might be closer to the purples in here, but I think these colors will go better. So I'm going to do that. But I wanted to measure it. And Joe, from Joe's Web, I'm really sorry. I love my little, my son got hold of it. Yeah, he's an adult. Yeah, he did this. So shame on him, but he ruined it for me, and it won't, he was playing with it, and it won't retract anymore, but it still measures. So I did want to take a measurement of it just to see, well, at the widest part here, it's about 10.5 inches. Here, it's about 9 inches, and the overall length, we're going to go with about 10 inches. That's at row 38. I will measure again when I have the rest of the tutorial part finished before we get into the felting, because I really am interested to see how much, if any, that it shrinks up. She's already talking about doing another project, and somebody had mentioned a hat, which I think, oh, wouldn't that be cool? So I don't know. And probably once you know how to do it, you can do it with any pattern that you like of your own. So we'll see how it goes. But I did want to, this is the first step, and the first part of her tutorial is this much of the pattern. And so I did want to see it and measure it. And I thought all day long about, because this is, I'm after work now. So I did think all day long about how, and if I could make that work. Felt it first and then try to sew it on there to put the handles in, because really I think it would be really cute. Let's see, let's pull it down with the wooden handles, and they fit around my arm, so that would be cute too. But I'm just going to go with her pattern, and that way I don't have to worry about screwing anything up and messing it up. So that's what we're going to do, and I will post this along with the next step and the next step and the next step as things continue on. So this is part 1, and this is called #HowIFelt2021, which I think is really cute. She's got another hashtag for it too, make a bag or something. I don't remember what the other one is. I liked that one. So anyway, I'm going to sign off for now, and I will add to this when I have the next step completed. Thanks. Bye. Well, okay, I'm back now, and I have completed, I think it might be what she's done is part 2 and 3, Bev, from the Dittmer Knittery. But that's part 2 for my video's purposes. So the bag is now completed with the decreases here, and I made a flap, and she did a buttonhole, and I didn't even watch that part of the video. Sorry, Bev. I tend to not like to, when I have a purse with a flap, button it. I just like to fold it over, because then the button's a pain on the rear end, in my opinion. So I made this little teardrop kind of thing. If I decide to put a button, I can put it through there. I don't know. I'm sure it'll shrink up a little bit and like close up a little bit for during the felting process. So if I don't put a button, then it'll just look more, I don't know, like that. It'll do what it does. And so this is incorporating the second 2 skeins of yarn. This is what I have left. So when I was finishing up the blues and the purple yarns, and this is navy blue here. It looks like, oh, maybe it's black. I don't know, black or navy blue. And then it went into some dark green, but it was purple up here at the top, and this purple kind of matches. The one skein of this yarn ended before the other skein, so I started one of these 2, and it was in with reds, and I wanted to get to the purple, hoping then that the colors would blend together. They didn't quite until we got to the yellow here. But so I did the strap came second, and wait, it like, so this is the 2 of the original, and then I kind of incorporated, and I don't know if you can see there's like a little bit of a pinker, and then it goes to the pinker. But that strand of like purple just continues. Well, in here is not looking purple, but it is. And like this yellow color comes through, orangey yellow, and then into the yellow. And this purple never did go away. And I incorporated the second strand somewhere in here after this. So the purples were here together, and then the second skein of the new yarn came in and was purples, but they never blended together until I did the whole strap, and then came here and to this yellow they finally got to the same. But these aren't all perfect either, so I think it looks okay. And I do love the bright colored strap, and I think it kind of, I don't know, what do you think? I think it kind of blends in together fine. Excuse me. She did not give us exact measurements on the strap, just as long as you like it. I believe this will be a crossbody size for me, which is the way I wear my purses. I love a long strap and a crossbody. So I'm hoping, she says it won't shrink very much, but I'm sure it'll still have a little bit of stretch to it, because as you can see, this has some stretch. So I think it'll be perfect. I don't want it to, you know, put stuff in it and then it stretches down to my knees. Excuse me. So she also talked about, you know, the strap placement, and when she put her flap on, I didn't disconnect my yarn. I put this strap on and kept my same yarn, and then I came over to here and kept my same yarn, and then I just single crocheted a stitch over, or 2 or whatever it required, and then started the single crochets for the flap. I didn't excuse me, I didn't do any disconnecting of my yarn. I just used the same yarn and just slip stitched, and then I made the panel. Now, according to Bev, like, my seam is like crooked, and that's going to happen because you're crocheting in the round. But when you when you block it after the felting, then all this goes away. The round, you know, you can straighten that out and make it look good, and all the curving that it wants to do goes away when you felt. So I did bring my measuring tape over, my little snail guy that's so adorable but broken. And when I was doing the decreases up here, I have to be honest, things were going on and I was decreasing and I lost my row count, but my stitches end up right, so I don't know. I don't know if I have the right row count or not, but it looks fine. So I am now at like 11.5 inches. I don't remember what I was before, but if you're just watching this video, you probably just saw that a minute ago. And the width should be the same. I made this to be at the longest point. I think we joined right there where the colors are different. So before the, oops, it's like 7 inches, because I think this was my join row right here. And mine is 6 inches wide. And then my strap, again, you make it, you know, to your own size, whatever kind of strap you want. But real loosely. Let's see if I can do this. Just so we can see what kind of shrinkage we get if you want to make one with a longer strap. You'll get an idea of how much it shrunk. I got like 39.5 inches, I think. 39 to 40 inches on my strap. And I do love the bright colors that came into it from the second skeins of yarn. And I'll tell you, I went through my stash this morning just to see if I had any other 100% wool that wasn't like superwash or merino or whatever. And I have 4 skeins that I could find, or hanks actually. I think they came in my knit crate, and there's like 2 charcoal gray and 2 of a lighter gray, but they're chunky, which would be a really cool felted hat, don't you think? You know, one of those hats with the brim that you can like fold up at the top, you know, on the sides. Anyway, that's what I'm thinking. Let's see how the felting process works. When Marianne the crotchety clogger felted her purse, she said she was wore out from all the upper body work of whatever happens here. So I guess you have to keep turning it or swishing it or something. But I haven't watched that part of the videos on the instructions, so we'll be finding that out soon. And I will see you in the next section of my, so these are my, this is how much yarn I used. The 2 originals, this total I wanted to tell you, that's 153 yards, but I held 2 together, so that gives me 306 yards. And then I probably used another, probably half, you know, 1 skein, but again I used 2 because I held them together. So she did say 450 yards, and that's pretty much, I think, what I've used is about 450 yards. I do have 2 more full skeins in a different colorway of this. So probably with that, I could make another bag just like this one. Let's see how it turns out, and then I'll know if I'm going to go to that kind of work. So far, I'm really enjoying this project, and I'm really anxious to see how it turns out in the end. So I'll see you in the next chapter of this video. Bye. So I started to felt this, and I put it in a pan of very hot water. My tap water is very hot. You can't put your hands in it if you just run it hot. And my water started turning very dark. The dark colors here were bleeding, and I forgot to film, so now I'm redoing. But my yellow and orange was changing color, and I wasn't happy with that. So I took them out and I washed them in warm water with just Dial hand soap, to be honest with you. And I got them to be bright colors again, and I rinsed them out and I put them in cool water with some just white vinegar. And as you can see, the water is staying pretty clear, and my colors are getting back to bright that are supposed to be bright. And it doesn't look like they're going to fade anymore. So we're going to take this out and just maybe we'll just add the really hot. So don't mind the sound of the water, but maybe we'll gradually see if it's going to turn colors as I add the really hot water. I can still put my hands in this water. It's not as hot as it gets. So let's dump some of this out, but it is staying clear. Come back here. Let's go more hot. I'm sure you can see the smoke coming off of it. I don't know what's wrong with us that we keep our water that hot. But it's staying clear, so that's good. And my yellow is staying yellow. My bright orange is staying bright orange. Okay. I think we're going to be good to go because the water is staying clear. All right, I will film more as I go. So I put it back in hot water, and the purple started to fade again, so I drained that one more time and put a lot more vinegar in it. And it's in hot water again now with some soap. And as you can see, the water's pretty clear. My yellow is pretty still bright. So I'm swishing Swishing and soaking, swishing and soaking. Yeah, I can put my hands in it again now. It's very hot though. I don't want to keep them in there very long. So I'm going to continue to do this until I guess I'm done. But my colors are not fading anymore. Maybe just a teeny bit, but not enough that I think it's going to destroy the color of my yellow. And so if you have colors that are going to fade, I would definitely suggest putting some white vinegar in there. Or I guess any vinegar will really work. And as I'm felting, I'm getting, oops. Well, I don't know where that clump went to, but there's like clumps of fibers coming off. I hope that's supposed to be the way it works. But we'll see. We'll see. I'll keep you posted. Okay, so I have taken the bag and I'm putting it back in. Every time that I change my water, sorry if I'm making a stick there, I add a little more because I did change it one time and it started to bleed again, and I don't want my flap to be bled out. So, oh, and watching her videos, I wanted to show you this before. There are still holes in my bag. You can see light through. It's hot now that I stuck it back in the hot water. You can see here, you can see all the holes that are still in there, so it's not done. But on my flap, you can't see through it. So that is pretty close to being done as far as the felting goes, according to Bev's tutorial. I can still put a button in there. So I'm not working a whole lot on the flap anymore, but it got really long and skinny. So maybe they'll still match the bag once the bag felts, but I scrubbed it like between your hands. I wish I could show you, but I don't have my stuff set up for that. And the strap I have been scrubbing as well, and it is almost done. I'm going to say it's not as solid a fabric as the flap is, but it's more solid than my bag. So just showing you as things go here. Apparently the soap helps. It helped me with the scrubbing of my flap. I'm not going to put it in the water as much but the red section is smaller than the yellow section, so I'm not real happy about that. I tried to stretch it back out. I don't know what's going to happen here. Oh, and I'm splashing my phone, so that's really good news too. So I've been kind of using the spoon until the water gets where I can put my hands in it, and then I go in and scrub a dub. So I'll be back. So I just wanted to show you, I just added more hot water, dumped out all the water that I had and put only hot in here. And I don't know if you can really tell a whole lot, but I did not put any vinegar in it this time, and the water is literally turning blue still. Now, Bev said she used Patton's wool, and she didn't have very much fading, but I didn't put the vinegar in it in this hot water, but I have my flap over here just to see if it would still fade, and it is it's hard to tell because the lighting in the video, but the water in the pan. Maybe if I turn the flash, maybe if I turn the light on, it'll help you. Wait. Let me see if I can get the flashlight can't turn on. Oh, maybe now you can tell if I turn. No. See, can you see the blue in the water? The blue tint. Because my pan is stainless steel, so it's not from that. Anyway, I just thought I would show you that. I am using these tongs. It is starting to felt up a little bit better on the body of the bag. Let me see if I can. My tap water comes out so hot that you can, it smokes. I don't know if you can see. Don't judge me. I don't have any little kids in this house, and I like my water to be hot. So you can see the holes are filling in. I turned it inside out, and that really, I think, helped it a whole lot. It's not as solid as this, and I don't know that I can stick my hand inside. We'll see. So let me. Ooh, it's hot inside there. But so you can still see my fingers through most of it, but it's a lot less holy than what it was. I'm going to take my strap back out because I don't want it to, my flap. And I'm going to use these until I can stick my hand in there, and then I've been scrubbing like this, with both my hands. See, my fingers are turning blue. So I'm going to try that again, but I'm going to put a little more, I'm going to put a little, what the heck, vinegar in there. I just been dumping it in. I don't know how much, to help keep it from still bleeding. And I will be back. So, it's pretty well felted. It's not, I don't think, as good as what, there are still some holes that I can see color and light through, but it's 10:30 at night and I'm done. It's felted good enough for me. It's got fur flying off of it everywhere. So apparently the next steps are to rinse it in cool water, soak it for 20 minutes or something, and then wrap it up in a couple of towels and wring the water out of it, to get the water out of it. See, like, it's got this thing right here. That's like pilling everywhere. Like I said, there are some places that it could really be felted better. It's not as felted as, I hope you can see all this, it's not as felted on the body like here as it is here, but it's felted pretty good throughout. I think I'm satisfied with it. It's a lot skinnier and longer, I think, than what it was, and I kind of wanted it a little wider. Shorter would have been okay, but it's still okay. And I could felt it more, but like I said, it is 10:30 at night, and I still have to rinse it a couple of times and then soak it a little bit. Now, she did say that we could, wrap it in a towel and leave it wet overnight and start again tomorrow. But I've got a lot to do tomorrow, so I'm just going to be done with it the way it is, other than rinsing it and drying it. So the next time you see it, I will have wrung it out, gotten the soap out of it, and it will be a finished project. Okay, so here is the finished bag. It is longer and wider, or skinnier, than before I felted it. It probably could be felted a little bit better, but it was getting late and I was tired of working on it, to be honest with you. My yellow, the colors in the flap here, as you can see, aren't quite as bright. They did kind of take on some of the darker colors in the felting process, but I still like it. I've been told it looks like a sunset, and I like it very much. I'm very happy with the outcome. I should measure it. I don't have my camera set up for that, but it's definitely longer and skinnier than what I started, and the strap shrunk a little as well, and so it doesn't hang quite on me like I wanted it to, for it to be over the shoulder. That's how I usually wear my purses, is over the, over crossbody. That's it. This one would just have to be over the shoulder, which is fine too. I will use it. It's still drying. It is quite, thick. Like, you can't see anything through here. The strap is well felted, I think. But here, this part, there's like some holes that you can see through. And I tried shaping it and making it wider, like stretching it. And I tried stretching the flap out as I was still felting. It didn't work. It got real tight. But I do like it. This was an experience that I'm glad I did. Watching it change, watching the yarn change was really kind of cool. Chloe would really love that a lot. And it's nice, but like I said, it's still drying. I'll show you the back. Like, I'm pretty sure that my keys wouldn't fall through. I think it's felted well enough. Like, here it could be a little bit better. But it's done. It's done. It's done as it's going to get. Other than it has to dry. I probably should turn it inside out to let the inside dry faster too. That might be a good idea. It was a fun process. I'm glad that I participated. And so this will be the first of a series. Every time I try something new, don't mind my stuff on the counter. It's my kitchen counter. It has kitchen stuff. So I think the next time I make something in the, I think I'm going to title this, I thought of a good name last night. I thought it was a good name anyway, but I was falling asleep, so I hope I remember. Trying new things. So this is the first of trying new things felting, and I think the next new thing I want to try is Tunisian. I'm really anxious to try that as soon as I get caught up on my cows. I'm still behind on getting my cows caught up, but that will be, I think, next is learning Tunisian, probably with a wash rag that hopefully won't look like a stingray. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.